Next on the task today, gonna be taking these copper rings out. Once I take these copper rings out, go ahead, slap the head on, clean it up, and start slapping on the wiring. Can't see anything. Whoever did this did a pretty good job of putting it in. I'll go ahead and walk you guys through this little process to it. So yeah, so the specs on this block is Golden Eagle sleeves, waistcoat, 10-1 compression pistons, has scat rods in here. It's a pretty built engine. If you guys are new to the channel, reason why is a part, I had it running. I'm gonna put a video in. When you pull it up, you said, why does it sound like it's not 3 cylinders? It should be. I always heard it. It always sounds like there's a misfire. Huh? They always sound like there's a misfire. But we had it running, went to go get it dyno tuned, and it was misfiring, he says, the tuner says. And so I took it back home, took it apart, come to find out, I think 2 of the valves were slightly bent. So right now I'm on a time crunch. I don't have time to get the head done and have it put together, so I'm gonna put a stock head on here and just run it like that until the other head's ready. The other head might not be going on until probably sometime next year. I'm gonna have it done first, then I'll swap it out, but I just want to get the car running first. All right, so unfortunately I can't take out the ring. I cannot find a stop point, and you know, I was trying to pick it out. This is a couple of sharp edges, and I was trying to pick it out, but I really don't want to risk damaging the ring. So what I'm doing now is I'm cleaning all of this black debris off. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's built up or what, but I'm cleaning it off with a 1500. I know I shouldn't be sanding it, but 1500 is real light, and if you do it by hand, it's not gonna take out too much. So I'm just cleaning it off lightly, and then whenever I'm sanding, I'm not trying to stop. You're gonna do it wide. Then once I'm done with that, what I'm going to do next is, so I did one already. These right here are called dial calipers. It's it can measure stuff that you can't really see with your eyes, but this is a pretty nice one. It's zeroed out right now, and these dial calipers you can either check from in here or even at the bottom right here. So I'm using the bottom right now. So I'm measuring 4 points. I'm measuring the top, the bottom, and then you know, the 2 sides. So from my understanding of metal, you know, even if this was flat, I'm giving myself a tolerance from 0 and above. So if it goes below 0, then I think that's going to cause an issue with it leaking. So once I measure, I'm going to measure it. So it's zeroed out right now. I'm going to open it up a bit. Gonna open it up a bit, like so. has a little pinch. So I'm going to, this end right here, it has to sit on the sleeve itself, and this end on the actual calipers itself, like this outside end, has to bottom out with the ring, and it'll give me a measurement of if I'm within tolerance or not. So I just push down on it, and this one's above the 0. So I'm going to do that with all 4 of them. If it's above 0, if it's under 0, then I'm going to have to figure out a way to take out the ring. But if it's above 0, I feel like it's within tolerance and it'll hold some pressure. So, because once we torque it down, it's just going to squeeze on top of it and flatten it out some more. So
stuff that dreams are made of.
just finished cleaning. So I finished this. Out here I try to clean it up as much as possible. You guys seen that I used a flathead, but you know, you gotta be careful of how much pressure you apply on this, because you don't want, this is aluminum, you don't want to damage it. So I just kind of did it lightly, just enough to break up whatever debris that was on there. And I didn't want to hit sandpaper on here. Reason being is because if you don't know how much you're sanding, and if you sand it unevenly, it'll cause some sort of warp, I don't know, to the head gasket, to the head, whatever the case might be. But you want to stay away from this part with the sandpaper. Reason why I use the sandpaper for the rings is because the rings, I sand it on top of this. This sits above the sleeve, so when you're sanding, you want to make sure you stay on that ring. You don't want to go up against this, because this is kind of like the block itself. You know, you don't want it to you don't want to sand in one spot uneven. It'll uneven everything and possibly cause a head gasket leak. But she's pretty much ready for the head to go on. Next step I'm going to do is I'm going to spray the head gasket with copper spray. Then I'm gonna slide the head gasket on, then go ahead and torque down the head. I'm not trying to think too far ahead, because I get overwhelmed. I like to do one thing at a time before going on to the next. And I don't know if you guys notice, any type of work that I do, I have a technique called sweeping. So I'll start from one end, then I'll finish by this end. Just as you guys seen on the block, I started from here and I worked my way around. Same thing with the engine bay. I started from one end to the other, because I like to do everything in steps. That way I don't lose track, because I don't want to do too much work and get overwhelmed and forget to do something. Try to sweep it, finish the job, move on to the next job. So you look at that? Yeah, a while ago the dowel pin. So the dowel pin, it's one's on over here and one's on this side. Kind of had to get through it for it to sit. Gotta double check everything. Yeah, that's as close as she's gonna get before torquing. So yeah, so when you guys are, if you guys are planning to do this, make sure you go by the spec of the torquing sequence. So I think it starts off in the middle and then it X's out. And what that does is you don't want to go by like, oh, you think that you know what you're doing and go from out here to out here, because the reason being is if you do that, it squeezes the block in to where it'll flex and it'll leave a gap. So starting from the middle, it'll squeeze everything out. So from here, I'm going to drop the washers in and go ahead and put on the nuts and just hand tighten it. Just finished hand tightening the nuts. Yeah, I just kind of did it by hand as much as I can, and putting the washer in is kind of hard. So what I did was, you can probably use snap ring pliers too, but I stuffed this inside of the washer like so and kind of hold it in, and then I'll drop it in like that, and then try to get this on top of over the stud itself. Welcome to the office. This is where the magic happens. It's a bit dirty in here. Houston don't freeze often, but when it did, it busted a line. Haven't had a chance to get around and fix that. Have time, I'm gonna go ahead and probably redo the whole room, but as of right now, I don't care. So we are going to look up these specs. No. Clear all notifications. Your Chrome is updated. I didn't even ask you to. What we are looking for: B18c head torque specs. Boom. So Honda Tech. You cannot go wrong with Honda Tech. Oh, well, you know what? I have ARP head studs, so we're gonna go on the website or type it in. ARP B18c head stud torque specs, because factory GSR head bolts are different specs than the ARP heads does. So I just want to let you guys know that, just to keep that in mind. You guys want to make sure that whatever it is that you have, do your research and make sure that you're getting the correct torque spec. ARPbolts.com. So you want to go to their original website and instructions. I don't have the number to it, so go to Acura. Cylinder head. And we're going to go to B right here. Kit instructions. It'll take you to a PDF, and it says right here that follow the manufacturer's recommends torque spec, tighten the nuts in all 3 equal steps to 80 pounds. So trying to get it to 80 pounds, but we need to look for the factory torque spec. So I guess you kind of need both information. I just kind of looked at the ARP one just to make sure. So B18c torque spec. So we're going back here. You'd be surprised what you can find on the internet nowadays. So some guy has it out here. Torque stages. Oh, so there's only 2 stages for the OEM one, and I guess for the third it says the in 3 cycles. So you're gonna follow recommended torque spec, which is 2, and the third step will be 80. So I'm gonna go ahead and write that down. All right, now that I have the specs, all the tools you need to bolt down the head. You need a star tip. Make sure you guys get a star tip and a socket that's big enough to fit into here, because there's some sockets out there that are too thick, they're not gonna be able to get in. So I have this torque wrench. It's a Harbor Freight one. I had it for years, and I did a couple of heads before with it and they didn't leak. So, but I don't know where to take it to get recalibrated, or I mean, I think eventually I'm just gonna buy like a legit one, but for now I'm just gonna go ahead and use it. The stage 1 is 22 pounds, so I'm gonna change it to 22 pounds. And make sure you guys, there's inch pound and there's foot pound. This one's the foot pound one, so make sure you guys are using the correct one. So it says right here foot pounds, and we're gonna change it to 22. So I see the 10, and don't get mixed up, guys. So the numbers laid out on here, and it has a line, squiggly line that goes into this line in the center. You're trying to get it on the line in the center, wherever it lands at. So we're at 10 zeroed out right now. I'm gonna go make one full turn. Yeah, one full turn. So we're at 20. And we're gonna go to 20. Me not trusting the Harbor Freight one, I'm just gonna go to 24, a bit over. Once we have that situated, we're gonna go ahead and torque it down in a correct sequence. Just went through stage 1. So the next stage is telling us, remember guys, the OEM has 2 stages. So the next stage would be 60 pounds. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it to 62. Turn it up to 80. Go ahead and go 82. That's how much I'm doubting this this torque wrench. I usually go over, and it's been working for all the other ones, so make sure the engine don't fall. All right. So now I think going to set this to top dead center. Basically, top dead center, you gotta have the number 1 piston sit all the way up. I tend to forget these things. I have to look up to see which order it is, because it's not 1, 2, 3, 4. If the number 1's all the way to the right, and if the engine is sitting in the car, this is all the way to the right here. So this is number 1. Yeah, we still have the mark from the last time. I'm just gonna put it in. Which, do I have the right way? I think it's this side. Yeah, so once I turn the motor, this has to come up to that line right there. I'm sure you guys can see that. It has to come up to that line. So it's the piston is down right now, and once I turn it, it's gonna come up. I think they say always turn it into a counterclockwise direction. So we're gonna turn it. Right there. And as you guys can see, you're trying to line it up with this. This is the OEM cover. It has this TDC mark, and you're gonna line it up with that. So we're gonna turn it until it gets to that TDC. And there we go. So the piston's all the way up. The mark's right there. Kind of give you an idea. So pretty much we're set on TDC. And while we're here, I'm going to loosen up this bolt. That way we have it ready, and then start slapping all the stuff on. I'm gonna go ahead and set the timing right now. The head cap's on, head's torqued down. That's pretty much ready. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and just set the timing. I got it on top dead center. I loosened up this bolt already, and the goal is to put this belt on this side, and you are trying to keep it on top dead center, and by the time you're done, this line right here should end up with this line that's after being tightened. So once you line it up to where you need it to get it to, you're kind of gonna be holding the tension right here with the wrench, and then there's gonna be some slack right here. This bolt right here is gonna tighten it up. So yeah, so I finally got it to where I want it to be at, top dead center. These lines are a bit off, but I think it's pretty damn close. And I got the engine spinning pretty freely without it jumping timing. Just had to tighten it up a little bit, but she's going. Yeah, I can hear it. It's building compression. Next thing I should do is gonna do the valve adjustment and bolt up all the accessories and clean her up. Yeah, so my wife's from overseas and she never seen Django, and we finally seen the movie, and I was trying to explain to her the Leonardo DiCaprio scene. I went to the gas station and I found this. I thought it was pretty hilarious, so I'm gonna leave it in the car and let her see it. Yeah, I like to annoy my wife. I have this other thing I'm gonna do, so I want to go take a picture for my passport, and they gave me a bunch. I'm gonna cut off a bunch of them. I'm gonna like kind of just hide them in different areas. I got the specs up, and the specs is saying that it is, let's see if I can get this to focus. The specs says 0.17 for the intake side, and the exhaust side is 0.19. There's a plus minus 0.02 tolerance to it on both sides. So this one has 32 blades. I made sure that I read the back of it, and it has it on here. So we need, I think it was 17 and 19. For the valve adjustment, going by the factory specs, and me doing so, when I was watching the other video online, this guy said that it was on the back of the hood. So in case you guys can't find it online, I found it on the video, or if not, if you still have your OEM hood, it'll be on the back of it. So it's good to know that. And it even has the spark plug gapping to it, but this engine's going to be boosted, so Gotta go with different spark plugs and different gaps. Let's get into it. The head, the engine is already set on TDC, and it's on the number 1 already, so I'm gonna pull out the gauge. So I got both of them out. I'm gonna go ahead and bend these tabs, because they sell filler gauges that these tabs right here, they're bent like so. I just put it on a vise real quick. If you don't have a vise, you can just put some pliers on there and bend them. It's metal, so, and they're stainless, they'll bend. And I'm going to check. I can't even stick it in here. I guess they're that tight. They're supposed to go in. Let's check the exhaust side. Really loose. This one's tight. That's where this tool comes in. I'm gonna do the intake side first. You can see right there. I'm gonna loosen it up. Just loosen up to where the filler gauge can fit. Gotta turn it to the 17. Loosen it up. And like my friend said, just loosen it until it, and then tighten it until it stops. Stop right there. It's too tight. Say you're supposed to feel a drag. It's a bit too tight. Tighten it more. Feels pretty good to me. Has a nice drag to it. You have to have experience for this. I did number 1. I think you guys should make it a habit to double check. What I did was I went to go get my notepad. I wrote down everything. That way everything's on the sheet of paper. I can kind of just follow it. But I almost forgot already. I'm gonna double check. So the intake side, this is number 19. 19 is for the exhaust side. So I'm gonna check it out. And then since I don't have the tool on here, I'm gonna check it right here. And this is in there pretty good. Has a nice little snug to it. It could be a little bit tighter, but that's fine. I'm gonna check this side. This side feels really tight. I can't even stuff. It's weird. I'll stick it through this side. Oh, 19 is too big. Forgot the 17 is supposed to be for this side. That's why it wasn't going in. Nice. Fits in there pretty good. I was trying to fit the 19 in here. Has a nice squill to it. So I think that's good for the number one firing order we are going to do is number 3. So it's gonna go like this. We're at top dead center. We finished that one. I'm gonna go ahead and check that off. We finished that one. We're gonna do number 3 now. And number 3, since we don't have the distributor on, you can kind of go by the cam direction too. Cam direction, TDC, the arrow is going up. As you guys can see, it's going up. And number 3 is going to be next, because remember this rotating assembly is going in a counterclockwise direction. So we're trying to get this up to over on this side. And we got to make sure that the piston is all the way going up. So we're gonna get that rod that I've been using, which is this rod. I'm gonna put it in number 3. So we're gonna put it in number 3. You see how it drops? We're gonna turn it to where the piston is up and the cam position is going to the number 3 position. The piston is going up, as you guys can see. I'm gonna keep turning until the arrow is pointing counterclockwise, guys. There's really no marks on there, but as you can see, it's at that mark. I'm not sure if you can see it. The mark's right there, and it's lined up. So that piston is up, and we're on number 3 right now. So, and then we're gonna basically repeat the process. This cam lobe right here, guys, is supposed to line up to this. So just a little bit of information for you guys. This lobe's supposed to line up with this rail right here.
What is it? The stuff that dreams are made of.
Yeah, so I just finished. Went by the factory specs. Hopefully I did it correctly, but I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. After I clean up the engine, I'm gonna do a compression test on it. So, I mean, I guess we'll find out then, see if I did it correctly. But if the compression is good, then we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot after I get done wiring it. I might turn it on without the turbo, just to make sure everything is working functionally. Then once I feel like it's ready to go and it's broken in, because it has a new head gasket and a couple of new parts, I'm gonna run the car all motor for a little bit, just to make sure everything's good. Whoever's tuning the car, hopefully they can send me a base map, and that way I can just get the car running while it's turboed. Once I pressure wash everything and the transmission, I'm gonna put everything together and put it inside the car. Well, I keep forgetting. I'm gonna wire the engine outside of the car before I put it in. So yeah, I think that's it for this video, guys.